All right, Coach Schwartz, 2 weeks until the season has started. You've had about a month or so of official practices and a few scrimmages. Just what have you learned about your team this last month or so?
Yeah, we still have a long way to go. And you know what, I would say that's the case for most teams in the country right now. But I think our identity of who we want to be is being established. And that's the most important thing for us. We have so many things to fine tune, and there'll be a lot of new things that come up, but we want to be a physical, disruptive defensive team. We want to play fast-paced basketball that plays and attacks the paint, and we really want to be a strong rebounding team on both ends. And that's where our focus is every day, and we try and fine tune everything around that.
Losing RJ and CJ to graduation, you've said guys like Jay Shane and Jordan Riley have really stepped up in that leadership role. Who is somebody new that's really hit the ground running?
Yeah, well, Jordan, Jay, and Trevi have really elevated their leadership of this team, and they knew they had to do that, and they've done it since the summer. I think Corey Calker, Gio Drew have come in and really made an impact in our practices every day. And then Eli Delorier, I've said this, he's such a smart person. He's got a high basketball IQ, so his skill level, his voice, the way he thinks the game, that has been very powerful for a new guy to step in and do that.
A lot of fans excited about that Fort Myers Invitational down in Florida with Michigan State and St. Bonaventure. And just how does something like that come about for East Carolina?
Feel very fortunate. I think it says something about our program that we have a chance to be. I mean, that's an invite tournament. That's a tournament that's Fox's premier, uh, you know, non-conference basketball tournament. A lot like Orlando ESPN or a lot like Maui ESPN. Well, the Fort Myers Tip-Off is Fox's big tournament, and so to have a chance to be in that tournament with the likes of St. Bonaventure, Michigan State, and North Carolina, hopefully says something about the direction our program is going. To have the opportunity to play in that. But we know in the end of the day, those are extremely difficult games, two really good games versus Michigan State and versus St. Bonaventure. We end up playing North Carolina later in the year in a non-conference game. But to be honest, that feels like years away when we know what's on the plate with Georgia Southern coming up in a couple weeks. That's where all our mind and focus is.
A lot of changes in college athletics, including the American Conference tournament, only taking the top 10 teams, and there's discussions about maybe expanding the March Madness tournament. Just what are your thoughts on all these changes?
Well, the March Madness expansion, really don't think much of it until something happens and what it may be. What's right in front of us is the fact that the American Conference tournament, has moved to Birmingham, so it'll be a new site, which will be great. It's a great place. And then only taking 10 teams, which will add a whole different level of what games feel like in February and early March in terms of conference play. You don't know how it's quite going to play. I haven't been a part of that yet. But I can imagine when you start thinking of scenarios amongst from top to bottom, what games could feel like late February, March to try and make that cut line to get to Birmingham.
2 weeks until tip off. What can Pirate Nation expect from this crew?
Well, in these 2 weeks, we've got to continue to get better every day. That's the bottom line. And I've said that all the time, whether it's last year late in the season in a conference win or loss to non-conference in November, win or loss. Practice is the most important thing. So for 2 weeks, we will continue, and that will go on as we get into the season. But again, as we talked about before, I believe Pirate Nation can expect to see a physical, disruptive defensive team, a fast-paced paint offensive team that really attacks the glass on both ends.
All right, there's Coach Mike Schwartz. Coach, thank you.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Good to see you.